He is the GOAT, Jerry Rice. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Another Super Bowl.
Another one. So let me tell you a story. 30 years ago, Super Bowl 23, Niners and Bengals in Miami. I'm 9 years old. My dad is away on business.
You're 9.
My dad is away on business, and I say, Mom, you got to watch the Super Bowl with me. Now, she's not really a football fan, but she says, okay. We watch, and I was a huge Bengals fan at the time just because I liked the Icky Shuffle. I was in New York, but I really liked the Icky Shuffle. And it is now burned into my retinas that at 9 years old with my mom, we're watching the Super Bowl, and you go off. You have the greatest game a receiver has ever had in a Super Bowl. And, of course, that's the John Taylor touchdown.
Yes.
You're the MVP.
Yes.
Niners win. And it's indelibly imprinted on my mind because then I begin drawing pictures of Jerry Rice and putting them on my wall of you going over Louis Billups for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget just how mesmerizing it was to see you on that stage do that. But now I look back and I'm talking to you, I can't believe that was 30 years ago this past week.
I can't believe it was 30 years ago. And, God, it just seems so surreal. And I remember going into that ball game, I was so nervous. And the night before, I couldn't sleep because, you know, you up, you're thinking about the game, you're trying to visualize different things that's probably going to happen in the ball game, and did not sleep. Next day, you get up, you have breakfast, couldn't eat. You have to go to a meeting. Then you have pregame, which I couldn't eat. Never could eat on game day. So I go to the stadium early, which I always do, and I put my uniform on, and I fell asleep on a table.
What time?
It was before the entire team got to the stadium.
Really?
So my teammates, they were walking by, and they're like, hey, there's something wrong. I know, this is Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl 23.
That was your first Super Bowl.
And Jerry is asleep. What is going on with Jerry? But I think the preparation, the way I prepared during the week, I decided to just, relax for a little bit because I was already ready to go.
That's pretty amazing, considering what was at stake in that game. Right. That was Bill Walsh's final game.
Yes.
And it was a really emotionally taxing season for everybody. You guys did not rip through the NFL that year. 87, you had a great season, lost in that first game against the Vikings, and then Bill Walsh kind of couldn't do it anymore. And you guys had to go up against some pretty stacked odds in the playoffs, go on the road to Soldier Field to win in the NFC Championship game.
It was so cold.
So I can't believe that you would just be so calm to fall asleep before that game.
They were like, how can a fair weather team go through Chicago with the Chicago Bears?
No one believed you could do it.
And move on and go to the Super Bowl. With Bill Walsh, that could be his last football game. I think I had an ankle injury that had been bothering me all year long, and so there were so many things that had to factor into going out there and playing your best football. Playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Boomer.
Yeah,
I remember Boomer, and I just did an interview with Boomer, and he's still mad at me.
I know. He can't shake it.
Eddie Brown, because Eddie Brown, Al Toon went first, then it was Eddie Brown. Then I got drafted to the San Francisco 49ers. So I was mad because Eddie Brown was before me. So, there was a lot that was going on during that Super Bowl.
Jerry Rice is our guest here on the show. You guys come back and win the Super Bowl the next year in 89, and it's just a machine.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt like you guys couldn't be beat, and I felt like in 89 and 90, kind of like I feel like about the Patriots, you just are grandfathered into the Super Bowl. We just know the 49ers will be there. It didn't happen in 90 because you lose to the Giants in the NFC Championship game. But at that time, 88, 89, 90, did you feel like, man, we're just destined to be playing this big game?
I really felt like we were unstoppable. And I thought we were going to, win so many more Super Bowls. But, I think things happen for a reason. You look at the Patriots, what they're doing right now, it's like, wow. Like, this is something that's never been thought of. You probably will never see this again, to have so many opportunities to, go to the Super Bowl and to try to win, to put yourself in that position. Because most teams, when you win the Super Bowl, it's hard to get back the next year. And, for them, they got beat by the Eagles last year, and for them to be back here now, I'm sure they're looking to try to go out and win another Super Bowl.
Their dynasty of 18 years compares to what you guys were able to do. You joined through the mid-'80s with the Niners, who had already won 2 Super Bowls,
right.
But you guys were able to extend that into the mid-'90s and win that one in '94. But here's the thing. People compare you guys all the time. I got to say, you guys had a tougher road. When you're going through the Bears and the Giants and the NFC teams, the Redskins, and then the Cowboys of the early 90s, those NFC championship games were the Super Bowl, essentially.
Yeah,
the Patriots don't play anybody like that in the AFC.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing, too, I'm going to tell you, Bill Walsh taught us to be able to have a better road record than at home. We were able to go into hostile environments, being able to take the fans out of the ball game, and now we can execute what we want to do on that football field. And I think it was because of the players that we had. I mean, we had great leaders. We had the greatest coach. We had an owner that, we traveled well. We stayed in the best hotels. We ate good, and all he wanted us to do is to win championships. If we played the Dallas Cowboys, we did not like each other. But you knew that it was going to be great football, and the winner of that game would go on and win the Super Bowl.
Robert Kraft had a comment a couple weeks ago calling Tom Brady the greatest football player ever. I had a conversation on this show. I said there's only 4 guys in my mind that deserve in that conversation. Tom Brady, Lawrence Taylor, yourself, Jim Brown. Do you feel like Tom Brady has put himself in a position to be the greatest football player ever?
I think you got to give him credit. But, I look at it that there's a fraternity of GOATs. I mean, that really, really have transcended this game. And it might not even be in football. It could be in basketball. It can be in other sports. You look at, it could be a doctor. It could be a lawyer. So there's GOATs all over the place. And I think with Tom Brady, what he's doing now is amazing. I think he's at the age of 41. This is another opportunity for him. But it's a whole different era now. Football is different. They have the run-pass option. Back in the day, it was different. It was different. But, you got to give him his just due, though.